Alright, so today we're going to be replacing the carburetor right here on a Scott's lawnmower. I have the model number, it's kind of rubbed off. You can't really see it there, but that's not really what's important. What's important is that this lawnmower is actually the same lawnmower Murray makes, an identical lawnmower. It's kind of like generic, they just slapped the names on, but the engine is what's important. And I gotta look here, this is a Tecumseh, however you properly pronounce that, OBRM 120. So that's what we want to do. I ordered a kit, it was $17.99 on Amazon, and it came with some extras. It came with these fuel filters, which aren't on the factory one, and I don't really understand how they work, because as you can see, actually inside it looked like there was no filter at all, but now it actually looks like there's a filter, so there is a filter in there. But it also looked like there was a little bit of dirt in the filter, so I don't know which end to put up or down. I don't know, I'll figure that out later. Anyway, it also came with a fuel filter and a new spark plug, and of course the carburetor and a gasket for it. So what I'm gonna do first is take the top off. All you gotta do is there's these four, and they're star shaped screws. You can probably use a flathead. I happen to have some star bits that fit, so I'm not going to record myself doing that, but I haven't taken a close look at removing this, so we're going to sort of find out together how to do it. I got this mower for 36 bucks, but the push button has a crack in it, so it won't suck in air, and it ran a little while with some starter fluid, but that's not doing it. Okay, so we got the top off now. That was easy. I just sort of got it sitting right here. Get a little better look at what's going on back in here. So it's looking like I'm just gonna have to unbolt this plastic part, take that off, and unbolt it right here, and then there's a bolt back there. I can't really see in the video, and I don't know how easy that's gonna be to get to, because we got the exhaust here, so I might end up taking the exhaust off. I'm guessing it's just those two bolts there, but I might need to do a little research and check that out before I possibly break anything. But if I have to take it off to get to that screw or bolt, that's what I gotta do. So what I'm first gonna do here, actually, as you can see where the fuel line connects, is I'm gonna tilt the mower up so I can see that the gas isn't on there, so I don't spill a ton of gas. Then I'm gonna take this clip off and put a cup under there and drain all the current fuel that's in there out, just so I don't have fuel all over the place when we're trying to work here. So alright, I'm going to do that. I probably should set up my camera too. Well, basically, you're not going to have me on video doing it. I'm just going to take some needle nose pliers, loosen that little clamp, pull it off, and then get a cup under there and lay the mower back down. And I'll take an image of that so you can see it. Okay, so taking that off didn't quite work, because it turns out the containers I had to hold the gas wouldn't fit in there. So I'm glad I checked that before I'm doing it, and fuel pouring everywhere. So what I did was just took my container and just turned the whole lawnmower on its side and poured the gas right out of the top here. Now, getting a closer look at this, we're going to have to remove this little shield here, so we'll figure out what size socket goes on those. And I just watched a video, pretty sure I'm just gonna have to take the exhaust off. It looks easy to do, just to get to that screw with no problems, and it should all really be quite easy from there. So alright, let me figure out what sockets go on those, and then we'll start unscrewing this guy. So found out that's going to be an 8mm for these bolts to get off that, so we'll take that off right now. It's going to be important. I topped those 2 bolts off there, and the throttle you're going to see is connected right there. And this is, you want to probably take some pictures so you can see where everything goes. So that throttle connected onto this, and that's the only thing linked onto there, if you can see, from the actual throttle on the engine. And then underneath on the carburetor, I just want to note that where that is plugged in right there. I'm going to take pictures of all this because this is wanting to come off of there, and honestly I don't even feel like taking it off. It's on the spring, and then that spring's connected to the bottom, and then the top part is just one long metal wire that connects to that hole on the carburetor. So that's going to be really important when we put the new one back on. So now I think what I'm going to do is just unscrew. I'll sort of set this part back up here for a second. And I'm just going to unscrew this, got my finger in the way, sorry about that, this plastic part off, so I can put that onto the new carburetor when it's ready. I tried to use a Phillips at first, but it just couldn't find one that fit very well. And you can see it's off of there, so it doesn't really matter if dirt gets in there, but you want to keep this little tube clean, so I'm going to put that inside so nothing gets in there. But anyway, I found out that this worked, and this is, since you can't see it, is a quarter inch bit. So you can use that to take that off. I'm going to go put this inside real quick, and then we'll keep taking her apart. So I was testing out the bits. It looks like this 11mm ought to fit just fine under there. So we'll unscrew this exhaust, get it out of the way, and once that's loose, then I'm gonna take these hoses off. I just want to be very careful that I don't mess up anything with the springs or where things are attached up there. Alright, so as you can see, I got this off. It was super easy. I don't even think there's a gasket. There's a little bit of gasket there, but I'm not changing anything with that. I'm just going to take that off. So now I've got full access to those 2 screws. They look like pretty big. They look like pretty big Phillips head screwdrivers. I don't know if I have one that fit. I might have to use a flathead to get to those, and it's not a bolt, so I won't be able to get it unless I get a screwdriver. So let's just hope that's not on too tight. See, I got them both loose. I ended up having to use my power drill here and holding the back end with some needle nose pliers somewhere right there, and I held this part and just pulled it as close as possible and pushed as hard as I could forward, because if I stripped that bolt, I'd really be into it. So I got them off. This is loose. The only reason I haven't pulled it out is so this doesn't just go falling everywhere. I disconnected that top one there, and I call it the top one, but you want to remember that it crosses over the spring, and actually the spring connects to the bottom of the 2 holes that are actually on the mower. So now probably the next easiest step for me to do is going to be to disconnect the 2 gas lines. This is my first time doing this, so I'm going to see some trial and error. It seems to be a gasket of some type there. I'm going to try and rip that off and put it on the new one. I'm getting sweaty, so I'm trying not to get any sweat or anything. As you can see, I got the new one here ready to go. Should just be a matter of lining it up and plugged her in. I replaced the spark plug. I can't remember if I did that. It was $13.99 just for the carburetor, $17.99 for, but all the carburetors come with a gasket, but this one came with a new spark plug, a new air filter, and 2 gas line filters like I was talking about earlier, which aren't on here, and I forgot to grab my worm clamp, so if I install that, it'll probably be later, and I'll just cut this line right here and clamp it on there, but I don't have my clamps. So, alright, it's going to be hard for me to film this, but like I said, I'm just going to take my needle nose pliers, loosen that grip there, yank that off, and get my little cup in case fuel starts pouring out. And then this one doesn't look like it has any clamp holding it on, so I'll just, hopefully that comes off easy. I yank that off, and I'll just put the new one on there. It should be pretty easy. Alright, so that was even easier than I thought. This top hose just came off just easy. I barely had to yank it. Trying to keep the two throttle hooks kind of where they are and remember the locations there. Luckily my new one came with that facing the same direction. Let me double check, but yeah, we got the part there and that facing this way. I'll just hold them up there so we can just see them together. So that's going to be that same direction there, so it is facing the same way. And I'll just put it back the same. I'm going to take that hose off, get this thing back together. So all the thing left to do is put that exhaust back on. That'll just be the two bolts there. And I got this all hooked up. Should be the same way. Let's see. The spring. Get it to focus. There we go. The spring on the bottom one hooks on the top, and then the bottom one goes underneath that spring. Well, I'll have to watch my own video again to make sure I got that spring on there, right? Let's see. It does appear to be yanking on the throttle there. So we'll just hope that that is okay. I didn't pay attention right here. You can move this piece forward and back to adjust the throttle. I sort of just lined it up where it was screwed on before, and hopefully that'll be fine. I still don't know. I didn't put the fuel filter on because, like I said, I don't have those clamps, so I'm not sure if I should try the fuel. The guy said it was new fuel that was put in there, but I don't know if I should trust that until I can put some actual guaranteed fuel or put a filter on there. I'll have to think about it, but for now I'm just going to reconnect the exhaust right there, and yeah, put the exhaust on and air filter, and she should be good to go once we screw that top back on. Okay, she's all back together. I know I realized I skipped a couple of parts there. Just want to show you. I mean, right now we're just looking at the new carburetor put on there. Again, when you attach, I know I didn't show myself doing a lot of the work because it's only me filming, but I tried to hopefully describe it in a way and show you enough of what I was doing that you can figure it out for yourself, because I couldn't find a video for this exact carburetor, though I'm sure they're the same for most of these particular brand of small engines. As I was saying, I stopped the recording. As you can see, this is supposed to have two plastic clips that came off. It's okay, you know, because this is the air filter, so there's going to be suction holding that on. It's actually a pretty firm fit. Anyways, the primer was broken on the old one, so that right away is going to make it not work. You couldn't prime it. We had to start it with starter fluid. I did decide, since I got all the gas emptied out now, I'm just going to go ahead and wait until my wife is back, because in the trunk of my car I have the worm clamps that I would need if I put a filter on here, which I'm probably going to do. I'm going to just snap it right here and put that on. So that's something I can show you how to do if you want to modify your mower a little bit. There's no reason not to. Since it came with it, it's easy. I'm just going to slice it with a razor, put a clamp on each side. Then get some new gas, and I'll be sure to fire it up for the first time using the primer and the video, and let's hope and pray this thing should be purring like a kitten. $36 plus $17 for the parts, some of which I didn't need. This also, by the way, this is the used one, but this also, the carburetor I got came with a whole cleaning kit that I forgot to show you, with a bunch of little brushes if you want to clean the carburetor instead of replace it. They're so cheap, it was easier for me just to replace it than spend my time trying to clean it out. I'd rather just have a new one. But it also came with an extra primer if you, the button breaks and you just want to replace that. I feel like there's something, I mean, for the extra $4 you got quite a bit, I felt like. Check out this mower too. It's got the self-drive too, which, I mean, we have a pretty large lawn, so if you've pushed these mowers and you have one that doesn't have a drive on the front, you know how exhausting it could be. So this is a pretty good deal, but we're gonna find out if it really was a good deal or not when we try and fire it up. So it'll seem like a second tube, but I'll see you in a few hours when we got some fresh gas and put that filter on there. Alright, I know that was a second tube, but it's been a few hours. Here we are back again. I did a couple things that I didn't film, but I'm just going to show you because it's really easy. Basically, I took the top back off. I still haven't screwed it back on. But that connection right there, there wasn't a worm clamp on the old one, but this one, it came off, and it did come easy off the old one, but it went on so easy on this one that I just think that I felt better securing it on there. And so also what I did, which I mentioned I might do, I went ahead and I split the fuel line and I put the fuel filter on it that came with it. Now I'm a little nervous that this plastic is touching the metal there, and that might get hot and melt it, and I don't want it igniting the gas tank or anything like that. Honestly, I've never touched a hot engine there after mowing, so I don't know how hot that particular spot gets. I imagine everything gets pretty warm, and I don't know what type of plastic that is, so I'm debating if I should wrap it up in some like duct tape or something like that first. But anyhow, I'm off to the store right now. Oops, dropped my phone. Off to the store right now. Gonna get a fresh tank of gas, fill it up, and then we will crank it and see what happens. Wish us luck. Alright, so I just put some brand new fresh gas, got a full tank of fresh gas. I decided not to use the stuff that came with it, just for safety. I wrapped that filter in some electrical tape so I can check it just in case it burns it. I'd rather it burn the tape than burn through the filter and possibly ignite the gas. So this is a first try. We're gonna prime it. I know it said 3 times, but I just did 6 because it works better. Well, let's see if it starts. Okay, so it started great, and then the finger was in the shot, so I wanted to get a little better shot for the last picture, and then this happened. I decided to include it for fun watching. Yeah, you'll see what happens. I thought about making a video on how to fix it, but it was a pain in the butt, and I needed to get the lawn mowed that night. So anyway, it fixed fairly easy. There's a lot of videos if a cord breaks you can find on YouTube, so I hope that helped. I'm Jim. Subscribe if you like anything I do that I think would be helpful to people. I'm going to put on my channel, and just random cool things that I'm interested in, and maybe you will be too. So you never know. Thanks a lot. See you again.